Well, good evening. I appreciate it. Tonight we're going to talk about the ancient Mason, the ancient Mason. And the reason I chose this topic tonight, I was talking with some brothers in regards to um, Masonry. What is it? And then I got to looking at it and doing my own little research into Masonry and their knowledge and just a whole lot of stuff. And what I had in one of my books, what I've come to find is that the ancient Mason is no more than a Magi. Well, you may say, what is a Magi? A Magi specializes in acquiring knowledge that would enable a man to live to his highest, to make the most in making his most spiritual progress. So in Masonry, we call it the progressive science. And if you indulge yourself in science, you will see exactly what I'm saying in that fellowcraft degree. So when you think of ancient Masonry, what I'm finding is that is more so, or the Magi, the one who acquires knowledge that would enable him to reach his highest spiritual level. Okay, and I found that in a book called Ancient Masonry, and I find that it's a real good book. I've had it before on the show, and I've shared it before, but the more I indulged myself in that book, the more I found out that it got even deeper than where I thought even I wanted to go in a sense. And I'm finding that it breaks down a couple of things. At first, it's mentioned about the Magi, and then I thought about the birth of Christ and the star that shines so bright, that bright and morning star which led the Magi three by way of the desert, supposedly on camelback, to this manger where this infant is born. And they bring this infant, the Christ or the Messiah or Jesus, whatever name you want to use, they bring him frankincense or cloth, silk. They bring him the things that he's going to need. And as these three magi's embark upon this journey, they don't go back to Pharaoh. They don't go back to him. However, what I found is that when they finally get there, I'm checking out the items that they're leaving. These are very expensive items. So when people tell me that Christ was poor and is born in a manger, and I'm like looking at what these magi's, these three individuals are dropping off, they're nowhere near poor. That is just from the reading. And I encourage everyone to do their own research, to do their own reading, because Masonry can be a rabbit hole. Now, I often tell you should drop some breadcrumbs along the way so you find your way back. You know what I mean? So this is a big shout out to all of my brothers who are of the 33rd, 32nd consistories, Sovereign Grand Commanders. I just want to send you a big shout out. Hope you are doing well this Monday. So we're gonna get right into it. Brother Alex, how you doing? The three wise men are presented as high priest coming from the birth of the prince. Well, in some stories they're called in some stories they're called wise men. In some stories they're called the Magi. It depends on what you're reading, brother. Depends on the information you gather. I've read what they would call the three wise men. All of my life I've been told it was the three wise men. Picked up another book and found out that, hey, they're not necessarily the three wise men. They was Magi. So what is a Magi? Brother Alex Fitzgerald, what is a Magi? You know, a Magi is an individual from what now I'm not going to even tell you what I want to hear what you think a Magi is, or maybe you may have a better definition than I have as far as a Magi is concerned. So if anybody want to call in tonight, that number is 619-985-1184 is the number to call in tonight for tonight's show. We're talking about the ancient Mason, and we're looking at what those ancient Masons. I'm before 1721, 1717, 1847, before any of those dates as we know it today. As we talk about speculative and operative Masons, let's look at those ancient Masons. those groups or those secret societies that was around long before Freemasonry came along, and they were there. Today we know them as Freemasons, but long before that, they were called something else, you know. And we know by the study of Scripture that even Christ taught to the public, but he taught his disciples differently. There was a different teachings between the public and disciples. So we know that. We also know that if you would, you know, in this particular book I'm talking about tonight, Ancient Masonry, we know that the Magi's were known as knowledge seekers, or those individuals who acquired knowledge. And the way they passed this knowledge down was through not just word of mouth, but actually written down so that those in that circle would have this knowledge. It was not something that was given to the common person. You had to be brought in order to receive it, only because when I'm finding out everybody wasn't ready for it. People claim they're ready for something, and then when they get it, it's like so shocking to them till they have to back up and reassess the whole thing. So when I think of ancient masonry, I'm looking at the Magi tonight. So if you got any comments or anything you want to speak on tonight in regards to that, please join us. 619-985-1184 is tonight's show number. So give us a call and let's talk about the Magi's and what it really meant during that time and their knowledge that they was acquiring along their journey as they not only went or was going to present the Christ those gifts. And you know, that's a whole nother story though, because I don't want to go that way. I'm just going to stick with the ancient Mason or the Magi. They are considered to be Magi's. I don't want to go that route. That's a whole nother show for a whole nother day. So the soul. Okay, so when you're thinking about the Magi and then in the knowledge that they was acquiring, the information thus gained, they passed on to individuals through language and universal symbolism. Hear me clearly. The knowledge that they acquired, they passed it on through language and through universal symbolism. The Freemasons do the same thing. We do the exact thing. We pass on information through language and through symbolism. And when you get into symbolism, you can see something and don't really understand what you see. And this is what Masonry is today. Because in every degree that you have in Freemasonry, there are symbols. There are totally symbols. The newly installed Grand Master Steve D. Johnson, Ancient Free and Accepted Masons of Minnesota, he passed on Saturday. Wow. Whoa, sorry to hear that. On behalf of John G. Jones, Grand Lodge, California, and Research Lodge number 147, for which I'm a part of, we send our condolences to your Grand Master who's passed on. Wow, wow. Whoa, that's deep. That's deep. That tells me all the time, and I say it every day. I say this all the time to brothers. And my saying is this: for each of us is traveling upon the level of time to which no traveler returns. That is simply say, your sun up will soon become your sun down. And we all are going to pass that way. We all going to travel into that celestial universe to which none comes back from. It's just what it is. We're gonna leave this place. We're going to leave it. Now, how you leave it is something that you have to work on. And I believe that if you are a Mason or a person who's looking to do better in life, you want to leave it better than you found it, or at least leave those around you better than what you found. You want to leave your footprints in somebody's life in a very positive way. And if you can't do that as a man, as a Mason, as one who has a faith in God, then you need to really search out your purpose in life, because right now you got a long way to go. Wow, sorry to hear that. They were sometimes referred to as Skirn was believed to have magical powers. Absolutely. Absolutely. This goes way back. If you would notice that during the time, even when Moses, let's even look at the man Moses, according to scriptures, when he went to go tell Pharaoh to let his people go, he took a rod, right? Now, in taking his rod, he then lies it down or lay it down. His rod turns into a snake. And Pharaoh said, what you going to do with your magical tricks? We know those tricks. They also did the thing, laid down both of their rods. However, according to the story, Moses' rod, his snake, ends up eventually devouring those two rods. So we know that they dealt in magic. This is nothing new. The ideal is for those who may be coming into the craft may not see it that way, but those long ago who I would say Masons or Magi dealt in magic. Even now today's Freemasons, depends on where you at in this world, indulge themselves in magic. You're probably saying, what are you talking about, brother? Where did you get that from? Depends on who you're talking to and where you're at on this planet. Yes, sir. That's a fact. Even even today, those of us who are in the United States indulge ourselves in magic per se in Freemasonry. Let me tell you how it's done. Because what we do in Masonry, it is everything that we do is an illusion. And magicians do things in an illusion. It's an illusion to something else. And this is what we do even when we're in public and we're greeting someone who we may recognize as a Mason. We greet them in such a way to when the public see it, it is an illusion because they have no idea why we greet that person that way, who's a complete stranger. So even ourselves deal in magic, an illusion, something that you see but you really don't see because you can't explain it. In every degree, Masonry has illusions that deals in other things. Symbolism is deep. Every degree has symbolism in it. But I don't know how many of us ever take our time just to flip through the pages of our different appending bodies just to peep at those symbolisms or those symbols which represent that particular degree. They're unique. Call in at 619-985-1184. That's the call-in number tonight. If you choose to do so, we certainly welcome you to call in. This show is open to all call-ins. If you feel that you want to be part of the show and you want to call in and have a conversation, certainly you're welcome to do so. And this is what sets us apart from any other Masonic show or any other Masonic group that may be on YouTube, because we allow individuals to call in, be it whether you're a Mason or not, sister or brother. This is an open forum. We love to have you to call in and talk about Freemasonry. And who knows, one day you may consider yourself to be knocking at the door, be it a sister or a brother who are interested in becoming part of this great fraternal order in Freemasonry. So we welcome you to come on in and join us this evening. Tonight we're talking about the Ancient Masons or the Magi, who specialize in acquiring knowledge, just like we do today. If you are a Mason, you should be specializing in acquiring knowledge. That is something you should be definitely doing. Hello and welcome.
What's going on, my brother? Peace.
Peace to you. What's happening? What you want to add to the show tonight? I appreciate you calling in. Who am I speaking with right now?
Brother X, man, you know what I mean?
Okay, brother X, talk to me.
You know, I could pop in once in a while, but I'm
yes, brother X. Okay.
You know who it is.
Yeah. I got you. Go ahead, talk to me.
Yeah, so I had to call in, man, and say what up, you know what I mean? Because you're definitely talking my language tonight.
All right. All right.
So yeah, I just wanted to let people know, man, definitely that and the brother asked me this, man. Well, you know, we were talking. He said, "Yo, man," I asked the brother in my lodge. I said, "Listen, is what we do in lodge, is that magic? Is that ceremonial magic?" And the brother brother told him, no, it's not, man. It's just, it's just ritual, whatever. He's like, oh, okay, whatever. But then he asked me and a few other brothers who were on the esoteric tip, and he's like, at that time, he was just coming up onto it. He was studying. He was like, hey, yo, this seemed like it's ceremonial magic, isn't it? And I was like, it is. You know what I mean? And to confirm that, there's a book that I can tell brothers and sisters who interested, they can get. It came out, I believe, last year. I got it myself. It's by a brother named Jamie Paul Lamb, and the book is called Myth, Magic, and Masonry.
I've heard of that. I hadn't gotten it, but I've definitely heard of it.
Good book. Good book.
Okay.
I definitely recommend it.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you this. I just seen a brother post. His name is Byron Donnell. He says, so why do we greet and acknowledge our brothers in this way? If we do well, we understand the significance. Oh, okay. I thought he had a question. All right, go ahead, bro. Talk to me, Brother X.
Yeah, but most definitely. I was just explaining how the book that the brother put out, it's in 3 sections, I believe he breaks it into. And he talks about the astrological correspondences to Masonry. And he breaks that down. Beautifully talk about the Royal Arch, how the arches representing certain zodiacs. Breaks it down. And his sources for that, he gives sources too for his information, which I love. His one of his main sources is a book that I have as well that I've gifted a brother of mine that I love dearly out there in California. He cites the book, I believe it's called Stellar Masonic Astronomy and Stellar Theology. I believe that's what it's called.
Okay.
If I'm getting it mixed up, then I apologize, but that's what it is. I believe I have it on PDF, so if you want, I can send that to you as well.
Okay.
Anybody who wants to, just let me know. Send it to you, just hit me up, and we can talk like that. But yeah, definitely that book. The next part, he breaks it into how magic is being practiced in the lodge. And he brings about the fact. Damn, I want to talk about some stuff, but I can't.
Well, you know what? You know what, Brother X? You can talk about it through the language, universal symbols of Freemasonry.
Okay.
Now, I'm not going to say it's not going to go over some of them. Hey, I won't say it won't do that. But for those of us who are in tune and who are enlightened, should be able to follow you. And even if we can't, we should be able to listen with an attentive ear to find out exactly where you're coming from. And then take your information and go research it for ourselves.
All right, bet. So for those of any of us who are on the line or into the occult, into the esoteric sciences, this is right up the alley. You know what I'm talking about. So there's something that's called an egregore in the occult. Okay, and an egregore is something like a thought form, which is a collective group of people, right? And they all have a collective group of thoughts that merge together. The energy attracts to each other, to itself, because it's the same energy. You feel me? And what they're doing is they're feeding this energy. You know, it's like some people say, "Oh man, I seen the face of Jesus in the clouds or in a tree or something like the Virgin Mary or something."
Right.
Well, that's because that's the collective consciousness of that particular environment that is projected, manifesting what is being projected.
Hold just a second, bro. I'm gonna add somebody else to the call, okay?
All right, go ahead.
Okay, brother Brian, you're added to the call, but right now, Brother X is speaking, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead there, Brother X.
Peace, brother. How you doing? Good. Welcome. Yeah, so just saying, so the same thing happens in Masonry. You know, when you get into your lodge, right, and you do these rituals, and we square that lodge, and we say what we say, and we make the signs, and, all of this stuff that we do, all of that is feeding the egregore, which is residing in the astral plane.
Okay.
How does this feed it? Well, that's just how it is. Like when you create a thought form or egregore, you have to feed it energy in order to keep it alive, right? So you keep doing these rituals. That's why you don't cross in between, that altar and the east. You have to keep the energy flowing free. You feel me? There's a reason why certain things are done the way they're done. And every lodge has their own way of doing it, and every lodge has their own egregore, and Masonry itself has its own egregore. So it's like a big thought form with another big thought form and little thought forms under that, which is every lodge and grand lodge you can think of in existence. So I get mad because brothers, some of them don't give the respect to the craft that it deserves in that aspect.
Well, you know the reason why some of us don't is because some of us don't read for ourselves or go beyond where we're at. If you can't go beyond where you're at, you're not going to really grasp Freemasonry. They're just like being in church. I visited Church of God in Christ. I visited the Baptist Missionary Church and just the Baptist Church. I've been to Catholic Church. I've been to Presbyterian Methodist. If that I did that just for my enlightenment. A lot of people can't do that. They can't switch out like that because it messes with their flow. And I've been to the mosque. I will leave church and go to the mosque. You know, so a lot of people can't do that flow.
Right.
So
and even those traditions have their magical parts.
They do.
You know what I mean? They are. When you're drinking the blood of Christ and eating of the body and all that, that in itself is ritual. I mean, Catholicism, the church, all that is ceremonial magic.
Absolutely.
You kidding me? You have the hymns, you have everyone has a role, everybody has their, but it's a psychodrome. That's what it is.
That is so true, but how many of us can grasp that? Like I told one brother, he said he was joining church. I said, you was being initiated. He looked at me like I lost my mind.
Yeah, it's true.
You know.
It's true.
You know,
what I mean? But I was going to say, the third part of the book, he talks about the Mithras tradition and the Mithras mystery schools. And excuse me, he shows how that relates to Masonry. And it's interesting. It's a great book. It's a good book. You know what I mean? Another book I was. You want to get your study on? Get anything by Brother Paul Foster Case. Okay. If you get a book by him, two brothers I mentioned, I believe, and the other brother I'll get to in a minute. But Brother Paul Foster Case created the builders of the Dentium. I believe that's how you pronounce it. But he himself was a Mason.
What's his name again now?
Paul Foster Case.
Okay.
He created a mystery school called BOTA, B-O-T-A.
Okay.
Sure. Okay. And this brother here, any work you get from him, fire. The one book I would recommend is actually a 2-part series. Occult Fundamentals, Spiritual Unfoldment and Occult Fundamentals, something like that, volume 1, early writings.
Right.
Then part two is something about magic and meditation.
Okay.
I gotta pull it up, but if you could look it up online while you're there, you could tell me. But Brother Freemasonry Unlocked, he recommends the True Secret Rosicrucian Order or something like that, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
Which is another fire book.
Okay. And I'll tell you what, Brother Byron, are you still online?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead. You can add in. I know,
Yeah,
brother.
Go ahead, Brother Byron. Go ahead. Yeah. I was just listening to what you were saying, and then with brother Tony was saying about the how we are kind of bought in certain things. We are born. We are already bringing. I can't remember the word that you actually used, but I'll use this word. We are already being initiated when we're born. We come into Masonry. We're being initiated again into a certain form of life.
Okay.
Then you have all these religions. If you know, I may have stepped off the path for a little bit, but you have all these religions that have been, you got to go through your initiation, baptism, whatever, sprinkling of water, this, and all this craziness. And for instance, I went to I studied with a lot of people, with some Jehovah's Witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
And within the Protestant, Baptist, or whatever church, you know how you have communion.
Right.
And when you're with the Baptist, if I'm staying on the same track, you know, everybody can take communion. You know, you can break the bread and you can do this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm staying on the same track. If I'm not, bring me back to where I'm supposed to be. So with this going through that, there's only a certain amount of individuals. Actually, nobody in the Kingdom Home is partaking of that bread or the wine.
Mm-hmm.
Then you want to go, well, where you go? I'm trying to tie this into the mystic things. So with that, there's the 145,000 individuals, which all ties into numbers of heavenly people, whatever you want to say. This.
Hold on, brother Brian. I'm reading something that brother Alex Fitzgerald wrote. He said, "Let me save you some money. The highest secrets of Freemasonry is not written down." And I'm going to agree with him to a certain degree, because I brought that out the other evening in a video I did, but I had to point that out because I thought many people had thought I lost my mind when I said that. But go ahead.
But see, now I'm going to skip home, and I kept pushing this thing to the 47th problem, which is always, you know, you want to say the mystic, the Magi is mystic, because Magi means magic, mystic things there.
Mm-hmm.
And all of this comes into one.
Okay.
And what text you earlier, if we can ever get back to explaining and understanding how this 47th problem works within Masonry.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's, you know, the Magi, the magic and everything, it's a palagram.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what does, if people want to say witchcraft, you know, the hexagrams, guns. If you look within all our symbols, that, you know, there's a symbol, and there's numbers that we work within.
Mm-hmm.
There's steps, there's hand gestures that we do all the time. And if you want to think about it, yeah, it could be. It could be witchcraft, could be whatever you want to do, especially when you get into actual the math of the entire thing of life. Because math is within Masonry, math is there. It's there. You can agree with me or disagree.
I'm talking about ancient Masonry. Metaphysics.
You know, so.
Okay, so Brother X, I think.
Yeah, I'm here, brother.
Okay, so Brother X, I'm looking at some. I'm going to read something to you, and it's kind of funny. I came across, and it's dealing with Masonry as far as magic is concerned. It says that the soul survival, physical death, and sometimes communicated with those who are still in the flesh. Also, that man has facilitated by which is still on earth. He can explore the inner planes where later he will dwell and prove himself that personality survives physical death. What do I need to read that over again? Is that too much?
If you want to read it over again, just in case there's anybody who didn't get it the first time, I'm cool with that. But you can read it again if you like.
Okay, so it is saying that the soul survival of the physical death, okay, and sometimes communicated with those who are still in the flesh. Also, the man has facilitated by which he's still on earth can be explored inner planes where later, this is the key, he will dwell and prove himself that personality survival of physical death. What you think about that?
That personality survives a physical death?
Yes.
Man, like, see, coming from a yogic perspective, I don't see the personality surviving after death. I think that's just another extension of the ego wanting to survive, quote unquote, or have some way of continuing on. In terms of energy, or consciousness, going on to the next stage, evolutionary consciousness, going on to the next stage of that. Yeah, sure, most definitely. But you gotta also understand, it's just like meditation.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at Shiva, the yogis, they go internal, they go inside, they go into the middle chamber, and they see that G. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh, you need to repeat that because everybody ain't too hip to the Shiva.
Okay. I said Shiva, Lord Shiva. He's the god of yoga, the Hindu god of yoga, or creation, the world god itself. You know what I mean? That's his god itself. Known as the Para Brahman. There's nothing higher than that. That's why he called the Adi Yogi. Adi meaning first in Hindi. He's the first yogi. He's the first.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, going back, he represents consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
But going within, we are all Shiva. So going within ourselves and getting in touch with the consciousness of uniting the universal consciousness with the individual consciousness is what Shiva is about. So when we go internally inside into meditation,
mm-hmm.
we are going into the middle chamber,
mm-hmm.
and that's where we see the letter G at the top, and that is corresponding, to when the Kundalini. The
mm-hmm.
two pillars,
mm-hmm.
the serpent energy, the feminine energy, going up that Jacob's ladder.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to the point where I had said earlier. I said he can explore the inner planes, where later he dwells and proves himself that personality survives physically. It survives the physical death. Now, what I find in that is that when a person leaves this thing we call life and journey on to another plane or another place, I believe his personality still lingers. His spirit, his whatever you want to call it, that it factor, his footprints on somebody's life still lingers, and that is his personality. That's what I get out of it.
You are beyond the personality, so how can something that, you're beyond the personality. You created the personality. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That is what lingers on, that consciousness. Okay. If you ask me, in my opinion,
Well, yeah, this is what it is. This is a nice little study session, because when I see it, I look at those who have long gone, and everybody like to refer back to the kings, to the Malcolm X, to Elijah Muhammad, to Marcus Garvey, to those individuals who left their footprints in the sands of time. And a lot of people who were a lot of individuals who were probably still living during that time, who actually had who actually seen these individuals has taken on something from them. That's when I'm talking about their personalities.
But let me ask you this. So you say your footprints, or our footprints as Masonic individuals or African American people. So when we descend, leave this area, where do you think that we go?
I think life continues. I think life continues because
where does it continue at?
Huh?
Where does that life continue?
No man knows. Where do you think? Because I can't answer that, because I haven't passed that way before. But when I get there, and trust me, I'm gonna get there.
So this is what we have. You have your truth, brother has his truth, and I have my truth. And so what I'm going to believe is that when we leave this system, and what I call this system is what we're living in now.
Mm-hmm.
When we leave this system, we leave a memory, like you said, footprint.
Mm-hmm.
We leave a footprint, we leave a memory. When we expire, we exactly where we dead. We are dead. We remember nothing past this last time that we breathed or whatever we said to this last individual. That's the only thing we're going to remember. And that may be erased. So, when the system ends and it's time for us to reincarnate or the resurrection comes, there will still be a whole bunch of individuals running around. And the time.
So do you think, in saying that, you know, in Masonry, we have a thing that we do when we reincarnate. Did I say that word right?
Not in the sense that, listen.
You know, we had that thing, right? I'm just saying, I know I missed the word, but I'm just saying.
No, wrong. We don't reincarnate. The thing is,
we're reborn.
Reborn, but you know what?
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Like, there's not a such thing as being reborn.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to put it in layman's terms. The best way somebody can able to grasp what I'm trying to convey.
But if you cannot, oh man. It's hard to kind of put this right. It's kind of hard to put this. If my truth is, I'm just going to tell you my truth.
Okay.
So my truth is this. When the point that I leave out of this system that's going on, I'm going to be in the grave. From whence I came. I came from clay. I'm going back to clay, dust, the way you want to go. That's where I'm going back to.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going anywhere else.
So where does that ruach go? Where does the air go? Where does it go? Where does that energy go?
The air, if you're speaking of air that we breathe in, the air that we let out, that aura, or you want to say that soul.
Ruach. Yeah.
Ruach, okay. That soul that continues to move on. But
If that continues to move on, don't you think that you continue to move on too?
It's not going to move on to you.
No,
you are not. But that moves on into my beliefs. That moves on to your bloodlines.
Okay.
Close friends who can feel these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my thought is more in bloodlines. But when you are gone, like you said, you're going to that place that no man can return.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm gonna break. Brother X, you still online?
Yeah, all right, bro.
Okay, so check this out. The energy from the planets exert an influence over human life and density. The Brotherhood of Light, astrology, possibly of these planetary influence in of the present manner which they influence human life. So do you think that's true too?
Oh yeah, brother. I'm a student of astrology, so most definitely yes.
So do you believe that at one time these Magi, these Masons that travel across the sands and did these things, do you think they also dealt in astrology?
Of course, those were mandatory sciences and the mysteries that you had to know.
So if that be the case, then why are we so afraid of that in the fellowcraft degree? Oh, you didn't see that coming, did you? Uh-huh.
That is because, brothers, we're so indoctrinated, man, with, what we've been brought up with, and Now we just can't break away from that, and I find it perplexing and puzzles me how I run into brothers who, all right, cool, we all have light, I get it, to some degree, according to our own table toe and all that, I get it, but I just feel like as a Mason, this comes. It means you're a man, like you grow up, so you have to leave childish things alone. So you can't just still believe in like a savior coming to come and get you. And, you know what I mean? Or any religious ideology or a prophet or whoever. And it's just like, no, man. Like I feel like to say that we are given light, and even if you've been in the East and dispensed light, I think that we're supposed to be on a higher vibration.
Okay.
Looking at things from a more, I want to say mature aspect or perspective, but I want to just say, in terms of growing up as a man and getting into that old age, that sadness, that father time. You know what I mean? That's how I see it, man. I just feel like brothers could just, just respect it and have no fear, man. You have to go into that middle chamber. You have to go into that chamber of reflection first, before anything.
So that goes back to this here. How many Masons that get initiated into the craft actually stop by the chambers of reflection? How many actually? I mean, because some chambers of reflections are a little bit different than others, and I'd rather not discuss it, but we can discuss the idea of the chamber of reflection. How many actually get the opportunity to stop by and reflect upon about this journey that they're about to partake? Because this journey, if you indulge yourself in it, is different than any other journey that you're going to come upon.
I tell you this much, brother. When I was getting raised, okay, and we went for the second part. We took a break. We in a what we would call we in a room, right, an ante chamber, right. But they told us, they instructed us, they said, okay, it's just time to reflect what you're gonna encounter, what you went through, and what you're gonna encounter.
Okay.
And the other brothers that gave toes online, I love them. But at that time, they weren't taking it. Some of them weren't taking it seriously. They were talking, they were joking around. I was the only one that I know. I closed my eyes and I made that middle chamber for myself. I went inside. I meditated. Like, yo, why you got that on still? And I said, yo, like, I'm meditating, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I still have a certain, thing on me, a certain accessory, and I was just like, I was just in a certain space preparing and getting ready for what I
there's a question that is posed in the chat. This question is from Black Ancient Free Network. I like that. Black Ancient Free and Accepted Mason Network. He says, how can one fear the sciences in the fellowcraft degree when each station is of astronomy? The reason they fear it is because they're not willing to indulge themselves in what it is in the fellowcraft degree. They only read about it, but they don't indulge themselves in it.
Yeah, man.
And if you don't,
degrees correspond to certain zodiac signs and planets. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, let me add this. And let me read that again in what he said. He says, how can one fear the science in the fellowcraft degree when each station is as of astronomy? So let's take this to the layman's term.
Take it to layman's term.
Let's take it to layman's term. Now, if you are afraid to look back when you go into the chambers of reflection, you can't look forward. You can't see because you don't know that. You have to look back on your life. All the good, all the bad, and you have to put that into perspective and see. If you're afraid of what happened within within all these things that come forward, there's no need to even take this over. Because that means that as they say, your your mind is strong, but your body's weak.
Okay. Okay.
Because you can, your mind wants you to do this, but your body, because now it's coming from your mind, it's coming to your stomach, it's coming to all this other stuff. You get the jitters and all this. But if you cannot understand what you are getting into, and once again, all this stuff comes into astrology.
Okay, so
it all ties right into it.
Okay, so I'm going to read you something that King Mussa said. He said they are reading the degree work from a Christian perspective.
Absolutely. Right.
So, because in Christianity now, we're taught to be afraid of witchcraft, voodoo, Hindu, hoodoo. We talk, hey, hands off.
Listen, these things that, this is, a lot of this stuff is Caucasian made. You want to look at the Santa Maria, and you look at all this other crazy stuff that goes on, you want to call it crazy. So if we actually looked at this if you had an open mind and you looked at all these things, it will make a lot of sense. It will make a lot of sense.
So let's take it a little step further. Okay, so we say the motto of Freemasonry across the board, right? We say that charity, relief. Let me see. No, not charity, relief. We say the fatherhood of God, the brotherhood of man, and love. So how does that come into play when we as Masons don't distribute the very thing that we say we are part of?
Okay, so that means that we don't give. I'm going to use a hard word right here. That means that we don't give a damn about fellow man. Because those three words that you said, and if you make I'll say this every time that I talk to you. If I don't love you, I don't give a damn about you.
Well, that ends tonight's show. Go ahead, brother. Talk to me.
So I'm not going to do anything for you because I don't love you. I don't care about you. But when I care about you, then that's when all of this stuff comes in together. Then we are actually living this shit, this Freemasonry stuff. Put it away. When you first come in, you're looking at you got the compass and square stuff is all covered up, and because you don't know it, it's like a baby. If I come out my mom womb, I don't know nothing but what my mama feed me and this and all these other things. I don't know anything. I don't know nothing about love. I don't know nothing about doing this, doing that. So if I have, and every teacher's not the correct teacher, but if I have what I can say, if I have a doctrine to go by, but when I come of age, first of all, I'm ignorant of what you want to call it, but once I have a doctrine to go by, I have some sense coming into me. I can research this doctrine to make sure that stuff is correct. Right? So then I can go forth and profess.
So when you look at that thing, the fatherhood, the fatherhood of God, the brotherhood of man, and love. When you look at that, we're talking about astrology. We're talking about Masonry as being part of a Magi, or the inner structure of Freemasonry. Those who are afraid of looking at the sciences and taking it from a Christianity lens. When all of that comes into play, are we missing out on what Freemasonry brings to the table, or do we become or do we?
We're missing out.
Okay.
We're missing out.
Okay.
We missed out because if we're looking at it as Christianity, it's a lie.
All right.
However, if I may interject,
Go ahead.
Go ahead, my brother.
What about, certain Gnostic sects the Rosicrucian order, who take Christianity, will look at it from esoteric perspective, and even the traditional Martinist order, this esoteric Christianity. You know, I can't understand the metaphysics. Huh?
It's their truth.
Yes, I understand it's their truth. However, we have to understand that such as Brother Manley would say, that you have the esoteric part of the religions and the exoteric part.
Somebody may be trying to
And
call
I believe the ancient mysteries, the ancient form of religions that we have today, you know, the true priesthood and the craft and the true ocean, they were practicing the ancient mysteries. You know, and this is why only a select group of people within that circle was able to get up in the certain chambers and certain priesthood. And, you know, I just feel that, though I may not rock with it, maybe, or some people may not vibe with it, it has its place. Or maybe I just done my cup of tea, but I understand maybe it has its certain piece to the puzzle, because everybody got their piece to the puzzle. And it's right, metaphysically, when you look at it, you know what I mean? And when you say, you know, the Christ consciousness, I don't see, I could look at Kabbalah and see that, okay, the Christ is in the middle pillar. It represents Tipareth, the sun, the fifth sphere on the tree of life. Is the only path, the only sphere that all the other paths from the Sephiroth, from the other spheres, they all interact with each other.
I'm gonna add another caller to the line.
Straight through, one path straight down, all the way up to the source.
Okay, so we have another caller. Who's online tonight?
This brother King Mussa. How you doing, brother?
Hey, brother King Mussa, what you got to add to the show tonight? Come on, talk back to me.
I'm just in agreement. You know, this is my realm. The esoteric realm is what I specialize in. And I agree with the brother that just talked about the Gnostic, Rosicrucian, and modern Martinist teachings, because Martin Marxist teachings, because a lot of those things you named are Rosicrucian branches so far as the 1320s out of Germany. So those manifestos, the three primary manifestos, which all Rosicrucians should know by heart, are the Fama Fraternitatis, the Confessio Fraternitatis, and then you have the marriage of love, or the marriage of man and woman, depending on the monograph that you read in. The terminology might change, but overall,
I always came across it as the marriage of Christian Rosencrantz.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, you coming across the older manuscripts.
Yeah. Well, by the way, peace profound, brother.
Peace, God.
Well, never mind. Go ahead.
Go ahead, brother Mussa.
So yeah, that's I just want to really just listen in, and then because what he's saying is very important, because I understand what the brother said about Christianity being a lot. I myself am not particularly one person who would call himself a Christian, but because of what I study, one of the things that I learned about ESLs is that they are just that. They are values of sacred law. Their interpretation is based on the cultures that have created them. And if you read in the Bhagavad Gita's, if you read in the Upanishads, primarily you are learning about Hindu culture. If you read the Bible, the Sinai Bible that's in Ethiopia, you will learn about the original Roman Catholic teachings. If you go into the Quran, which is my specialty, I teach people a lot about the Quran, and I don't like to talk about what I teach about the Quran in public, because I know how my brothers is. They Muslims, and they just be, they get real mad. But I talk about the esoteric value of ayahs in the Quran, the sunnahs, and of Muhammad Rasulullah, and who else? And the hadiths of Abu Bakr,
and all of them, and how they battled jinn and demons and all of this stuff.
So
and how King Solomon utilized the jinn to build the temple in the esoteric.
So with that being said, one brother just stated, I think his name is Joseph. Joseph, he said esoteric Mason is making a comeback. Do you believe that we have that at one time that even though Masonry dealt in esoteric and is part of esoteric, the whole thing, do you think along the way that was buried?
Of course, because the Roman Catholic Church was in conflict with the body of Freemasonry at the time, especially when you're talking about over there in England. Because what you had at one point, because the same thing took place in France, it took place in Russia, it took place anywhere Grand Lodge was present, because now the Roman Catholic Church had a new folk, a new form of opposition that was physically as large as they were and had as much influence in high realms of power as they did. So you got to remember, a lot of brothers would become sons of Noah, the brothers of the order of Melchizedek and stuff like that through the Catholic Church. So even our cable toe that we wear in Freemasonry, that's Catholic. So I get into that type of stuff like when you get into that 18th degree, which is why I always stress whenever I come on the show that the brothers have to study that Rosicrucian.
But everybody, here's the thing, King Mussa, you say that. You say that, and I'm gonna go on a different route. Everybody isn't ready for what Masonry actually indulges itself in, because everybody likes to cream and puff. Everybody don't. Go ahead.
Listen, and you just hit a point there. What some individuals do, they stop right at that third or fourth degree. Once they get above those degrees, they don't, maybe they pay for them, whatever, but they do not understand what happens. And when you actually read into these degrees, and if you were to cold-heartedly believe in these things, you'd be like, man, what in the world have I gotten myself into?
Absolutely. And I say it all the time. But what happens is people don't grasp that because they bring in the cream and the puff of Freemasonry. They bring in the lovey-dovey part. And as I spoke of the other evening, the dark side of Freemasonry, it's the energy, is what you really go in search of. If a man who's in his youth do not take or go seek knowledge, then when he does reach manhood, which is the middle phase of life, he's going to be without. So when he get old, he's going to be wondering who's going to take care of him, because he's going to be broke.
Exactly.
So go ahead.
When if we put it, and I'm going to go a little off track here. And
wait a minute, time out. I got one thing to say real quick. Alexander Fitzgerald said Catholicism is African in its origin. No, I don't believe that. I gotta go.
I agree with that.
He gonna have to help me. Somebody gonna have to help me on that one.
You can look at the rod. You look at the rod. Then you see the Pope have. I seen you see like the right Egyptian rods. You see, Ashraf Kwesi taught about this, man. It's very common knowledge if you're into that circle.
Father Ashraf Kwesi. Sarah Student said he lived in Detroit. I'm from Chicago. I used to actually study every time Baba Ashraf Kwesi would be in Detroit. I would be a 4-hour drive. I would go sit down over there in 7 Mile Sarah Student Study and listen to Baba Ashraf Kwesi talk. And being from Chicago, Dr. Anthony T. Browder taught about Egyptian history since like 1992 here at the University of Illinois. So University of Chicago down in Hyde Park. So that's what Like that's the circle that's here in Chicago. So the esoteric.
I would love for Brother Alexander to call in and explain that.
But Hawkins,
Yeah.
do you know I've been to Africa so many times, but you know there's more Africans I met that are Jehovah's Witnesses than Catholics.
Woo-hoo. I'm telling you, boy, that religion be spreading, don't it?
Well, it depends on what
They
part
give you
of
the Bible and
Africa-
take your land.
No, listen.
They take your gold. They give you the Bible, bruh. They take your gold, your land, your home, and they kick you out and tell you to move on.
I've been to Ethiopia. I've been to the south of Oregon.
God.
And I will tell you how many are Jehovah's Witnesses than Catholics. You have some Protestants, and the little holes and this and that, spewed.
Hold on. Time out. I'm just reading here. One brother posted. He said the first Catholic Pope was a Moor.
Yeah.
He was. The first Catholic Pope was black.
So, I got that. I understand it. I understand him being. But so did the Moor become a Catholic, or did the Catholic become a Moor?
No, he wasn't the first Catholic Pope. He's talking about Pope Benedict. They call him Benedict the Moor. He come from like the 1500s. This is common information.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, when I think about a Moor, I don't think one being Catholic. I think a Moor is.
Well, they called him a Moor because of his region and description.
Okay, all right, got you.
So you gotta remember,
He was black.
Italian. He was Italian, but he was very dark.
But you see that here?
I wouldn't say he was black, but he was definitely, probably more than likely octoroon or mulatto.
Okay, he was black.
He wouldn't be considered black at that time. He would have been just considered Italian.
I got you, brother. I'm messing with you, but I understand what you're trying to convey. I got you.
Yeah.
They
would have
you see this one? You see this one? It's the Ethiopia is the oldest form of both Christianity and Catholicism. I gotta kind of, I don't know. I may debate that one too, but that's okay.
Ethiopia is the oldest form of both Christianity and Catholicism. Okay.
No, he's talking about Ethiopian Orthodox Christianity. Orthodox Christianity ain't nowhere near as old as Roman Catholicism. Knock it off.
Right.
If you study the Rosicrucian degree, all this information is in there.
Mhm.
It's in there.
It's in there.
But see, people don't do that, King Mussa. Most Masons like the puff and the cream. They don't like to really indulge themselves in Freemasonry. They like to call themselves Freemasons. I'm a Freemason. I'm from this. I'm from that. I do this and I do that. They don't indulge themselves in the actual teachings and knowledge of Freemasonry because they haven't quite elevated their vibration, or they haven't really been raised from a dead level to a living perpendicular. They haven't gotten there yet. Now, ceremoniously, in the ceremony, they have done that, but they have not yet arrived at that point.
Right.
And this is where a lot of Masons are at today. They like the puff and the cream, but they didn't indulge themselves in reading different books on Freemasonry, that would enlighten you on some of the things that you don't get in your lodge.
That's true. It's just like when you get to your 19th degree, and at this point you should start understanding certain powers in Jerusalem and how they got certain land and why certain kings was important and why certain rabbis and Kohans and cantors was important for the development of the Torah, the Tanakh, and the Talmud. If you saying that Masonry is not rooted in the study of religion, theosophy or philosophy is religion. It is. It's centralized religion that has rules and edicts to it, and it's told to follow like this, or this will happen to you. That's when you start quantifying philosophy as religion. Because Hinduism doesn't qualify itself as religion because they don't have a text.
Mm-hmm.
But the Brahmins do, which is where the Upanishad comes from. And then the people who study the Vedas, that's all a part of Brahmanism.
So one brother posted, I'm going to go, Morgan Major posted, some lodges, some grand lodges won't approve esoteric teachings. it's not about their, it's about the mere fact if you're calling yourself a Masonic lodge, grand, whatever, you're going to have to indulge in that. You're going to have to, because the Masonic teachings has that in it. And if symbolism is esoteric, you can't get away from it.
Brother Tony, let me say this.
Say it, bro. Say it.
If these individuals have not, I don't care who they masters, grandmaster, whatever, if they have not traveled, and I'm not talking about traveling within the United States, and I don't know Mussa's background, but I'm telling you, if you have not traveled without out of the United States, and you've seen these things, then you would know. You would. I believe that's my truth. You would believe, and you would know that things are just totally kind of different wherever you move about with all the world, and then you can bring those teachings back.
Well, here's where we at today. We've been on here for about an hour. Great conversation in regards to ancient masonry and magi. What I've gotten out of this whole thing is that most brothers, as always, in my own conclusion, don't indulge themselves in actual masonry. They feel good with the cream and the puff. You know, I would say to any brother, if you're going to get into masonry, you got to go beyond where you're at, because if all you ever are is where you're at, you're not going to grasp Freemasonry. Because if you look at it, Freemasonry is not in a building at all. It is outside of your very building that you call a lodge. Freemasonry itself is as far as the east is from the west, and as from the heavens to the earth. So if that is Freemasonry, it's beyond your borders. But if you don't take that in consideration and begin to indulge yourself in some of the hidden mysteries of Freemasonry and the degree work for which it has, then you're going to be in bad shape, because there are so many degrees and so many other appending bodies to Freemasonry outside of that of the 33rd Scottish Rite or York Rite, for which we mostly practice in the United States. It is just unreal.
So, brother Tony, I'll ask this of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because what you just said went over a whole bunch of brothers' heads. Went over a whole bunch of brothers' heads. So let's go meet the next thing you do. Go back to the basics, and I'm gonna ask you what the basic. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna repeat what your basic was. Ask or have a conversation on what is the dimensions of a lodge.
Okay.
That's basic. That's basic. The dimensions of the lodge. That's basic.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see how many, what comes in. We'll just see what comes in.
Well, you know,
and then you expand from there.
Okay. Masonry in American only practice this way in American, period. Okay. All right. But what I'm looking at is when I see Masons, or when I talk with their brother Mason, I try to enlighten them, and I try to grab something from them. Because, as I said earlier, the ancient Mason acquires knowledge, and he passes it down through language and symbols. And this is what we have today. You know, we have those things of ancient language, and we have those things of symbolism. But how many of us actually go and indulge ourselves in it is the question.
But see, once again, if we want to break our boundaries,
mm-hmm.
and you said that, I will say this again. I got two things that you always say. I'm gonna say love, and then what is the dimensions of the lodge? And then if you want to bring in dialect or whatso have you, or keep me this and that. We can put hey, put a symbol, put our symbols up there and say, okay, like you did once before.
I'm gonna say this to this brother or whoever he may be, Teethless Wisdom. He said that he's so high that we're gonna have to repeat ourselves.
So why are you high? I want to hear why. Listen. This is okay. When we get on this thing, this just like a lie speed to me. When I'm not in my life,
this brother said he's so high we're gonna have to repeat ourselves. I don't know if he's high on the ooh-wee or the sticky icky or the whatever you want to call it, or is he high on the conversation?
Hey, listen, Mussa, you still there, Mussa?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, brother, but this is the first time I come across something like that one.
So, but if we, I'm gonna come in on this and whatever. But if I come on here and I'm talking to you, brother, it's like this is an extra day. I'm not even live speed. I'm figuring out every. I'm getting on high. I'm so high I don't understand. Why are you here? Why are you here? You're here to learn something. But at any point, I would suggest or whatever, the mention of a lodge, and then whatever comes underneath that canopy, whatever is decided to come underneath that canopy, because now sometimes you go way above the basic, because it's a lot of people on here that need to, just break it down, break it to the basics, and then build up once again. Right. Basic so they understand. And you do that. Break it down so that these individuals can know what it is. Because some folks get into their lodges and they're not taught anything. They talk business, they talk whatever, they're not taught anything. And I can guarantee you not to say whatever. I bet a bunch of our brothers can't even read.
What? Repeat that. Say what?
I said I bet a bunch of our brothers cannot even read.
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you this here, and I'm gonna share this with the world, and it cracks me up because I'm not fearful. I am not fearful of what I can and can't do. I just continue to move forward in life. I've been in many chat groups. And even on this page right here, brothers would say, you can't spell a lick. The ideal is I'm not afraid.
That's right.
Most people are afraid of that which they see and people tease them about. I'm not afraid of who I am. I am very successful in my life. But most people can't comprehend or grasp that because they're always trying to pull you down so they can look good. And for you to say that most brothers can't read.
But this is what I'm saying. We need to help these brothers. We need to help everybody.
I will agree with that.
We need to help. We need to help. And this is what I'm saying. This is why brothers are kind of afraid to do or say, call in. Just call in. You don't have to type. Because there was a whole bunch of brothers that came into the line. And I knew they couldn't do what they need to do. But you know what? I had the other brother grab their hand. Help them out. Help your brother out.
That's what they did to me.
Yeah.
Help your brother out.
Yeah.
If you want to lip sync or whatever, help your brother out. But what I'm saying is that we need to stop downgrading the brother and help everybody out.
But here's the thing. Everybody, you're right, Brother Brian, but everybody is not on that level because we're so tribal in our thinking. We're some damaged people, brother. We're only 50 years out of Jim Crow. We're some damaged people, and yet we've done some great things, but we're some damaged people. But we have to realize we need each other. Until we realize that, we're going to be forever at this battle of becoming a better people as a whole. But individually, some of us are doing quite well. So it is up to us to be able to put the next person up along the way and teach them this road or this way we travel.
Well, I try to help. You know, I'm not the most intelligent individual in the world. You know, I'm pretty well read and what you call it. But you know what? I try to help every individual that I can.
Right.
You know, regardless of what. But you know what? There's a whole bunch of stuff that I do not know. For instance, you know, I called you the other weekend or whatever situation.
Right.
Get another point of view with one of the and it was a good thing that Mussa came on the other evening, one of the new Wabian brothers.
Yeah, that's a start turning that often needs to be stated.
There you go. See, you know, and you Mussa, you did a point. You saying some things within this new Wabian brother, which he I don't know, he would never probably be swayed or what have you, and nobody's trying to sway him, but it was a situation, and I was telling them, I said, you know what, let's do this. And Brother Hawkins got on the line. We talked for, you remember Saturday?
Okay.
We were out doing whatever, and I called you and said, okay, this is the situation. He explained it to you, and I just left it alone. And he got a second opinion of this. And like I told him today, not to say, I said, some of the Wabians are kind of, they're kind of closed-minded.
Well, the thing about New Wabian is, like I try to explain to people, like, before I even, like, okay, prime example, this is why I love, you know, that we meet up on the level and part up on the square, and then they say, what words of precious meaning that these, you know, what words of precious meaning, and these words, Masonic art, come let us contemplate them, and that's what we doing right now. We having a necessary build, and me coming out of Rosicrucianism and Hinduism into Nuwapu, it wasn't hard for me, because I was born Muslim because my father's an imam, but my mother, she primarily raised me in her Christian household.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just kind of like destined for me to be splashed with like plenty of religion growing up. And then my mom, they from Jackson, Mississippi, but she
wait. Your mom is from where?
From Jackson.
Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah. And my grandfather is from Greenwood, so my people grew up in Tunica. So every time I would go down there, I would
give me a call when you get home.
Deal with all the Christian, Baptist Christian side of my family, and then when I would come back to Chicago, my mom had 11 brothers and 4 sisters, so I had a big family. So when I got back to Chicago, all my uncles was like primarily like Hebrew Israelites or Nation of Islam. Mm-hmm. So on one hand, my dad, who's a Sufi, studying under Dr. York when he was Imam Isa, okay? When he was Al-Said Al-Imam Isa Al-Hadi Al-Mahdi. That's exactly how they said his name. I used to be a student teacher for 10 years. Well, I was a student teacher technically for 4 years, but I was in Nuwapian for 10. So when people tell me that I have a biased disposition, anybody who knows me in Chicago or from Nuwapu, which is the majority of the reason why most people know me from my esoteric teachings, is because of I was such an advocate about the doctrine of Nuwapu. In my honesty, I knew, and deep down inside, reading some of the comments about Dr. York from ex-Nuwapians, people I actually came into the tribe because they were leaving as I was coming in. And I was like, what happened? And that's because they came to a different concession on the case matters.
Hey, Brother Mussa, yeah, we like you said, we ain't try to trash doctors, but he did some good things. He did whatever. But listen to this one right here. Morgan Major said, once upon a time, many brothers couldn't read, but they were still strong knowledge of Freemasonry. But you know what? We at that point they knew what's the word I'm looking for? They knew the cipher.
Right.
You
Okay.
read the
Okay.
cipher.
Okay.
Right. You can read the cipher.
Right.
If we could not read, we knew how to cipher. All right.
That's why in all the black schools of thoughts, like especially talking about like 5% nation or poor righteous teachers type of teachings, you'll always hear no cipher, God. Like if people come to a certain contention of that the information ain't on the same level, that's how they knew you weren't a real 5%, because you couldn't answer the question, you couldn't cipher, you couldn't answer the characters, basically.
But you know what? Do you know how easy? To me, do you know how easy cipher is?
I don't know. I don't. Which cipher are you referring to?
Pygmy cipher. Pygmy cipher is easy. It's all the it's all the same thing.
You think?
It's all the same. I believe pygmy cipher and other things. It's the same thing because the alphabet is you got 4 squares.
Mm-hmm.
A, B, C, D, E, F, D. Then after X's and things, and the next letters becomes after that. You got the dot here and here and here. Ciphering is easy.
I think ciphering is easy, but the ciphering is harder.
But the ciphering, if you know how to cipher and you know how the alphabet and everything set up, you can decipher it all.
If you know how it's set up, I will agree with you on that.
If you know how it's set up.
Yeah, you're right.
If you don't, I'm telling you, listen, that's one thing. I can't give a lecture on how to cipher and how the ciphering is set up. I can give that.
Yeah, I like
I can send you how the cipher is set up.
Mm-hmm.
Then, because if you put it this way, I'll make it this simple. Make you what's that? XYO, whatever the thing you call it, XYO, or whatever that thing. I don't play that game anymore. 4 squares. 4 squares. A, B, C.
Okay.
D, F. Whatever. If the A is sitting in the first square, right? It's a backwards L. It's a backwards L.
Huh.
That's true. Because the L will be on the right side in that cipher.
No, right. If the A is sitting right there, it's a line it's a down line with the line going to the left. That's
so,
A.
That pygmy cipher, though, I think that's 3 lines. Because it's it's 1 line, and then put it this way: if you go into a B, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got a line coming to the left, a line coming to the line coming to the bottom, half a square. That's the B. C.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're not talking about the Masonic cipher decoded. You're talking about the actual cipher. See, I'm thinking
the actual cipher.
Oh, see, I'm thinking like you were describing. I'm like, yeah, because the L will be on the right side, but that's the second part of the cipher. My bad. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So
y'all had me going for a minute.
But you know, when you start getting deeper into it, and you start hitting the dot.
But see, this goes okay. So look, just to bring us back on topic. When you're talking about the ciphers, and when we're talking about the different things that comes into Freemasonry, when we're talking about all of that, and tonight's topic, we're talking about the ancient masonry, ancient mason, and how they use language and symbolism to teach and pass down the knowledge that they have. Is that what we are doing today, or are we still with the puff in the show?
No, this real knowledge he's talking about.
I know, but I'm just saying. In saying that, are I'm listening to what he's saying. But on top of that, in tonight's topic, we're talking about the ancient Mason and how they used language and symbolism to pass down the knowledge that was acquired. Because as a Mason, this is what we're supposed to be acquiring.
I just don't know how we go from the ancient ways to selling raffle tickets. I just don't get it.
How we go from where?
From the ancient ways, the ancient customs to selling raffle tickets.
Easy.
Because
it wasn't complicated, brother. It became a money thing.
Yep.
It became all about the money. Once the establishment of 1717, 1721, whatever year you want to use, once they began to capitalize on that, it became that. Capitalism at its best, brother. We will sell you a charter. If you don't come from us, you are irregular. That was the beginning of the end. Before that, it was just lodges. Men who thought alike, men who wanted to progress the sciences and the arts. They was all about working together and uniting and pushing agendas forward. But you had some who said, look, I think we can make $1 off this. And this is where we're at. Because, huh?
Well, I'll keep coming back to the conversation that we had before. You remember I was talking to you about individuals.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Agree, and then it's all about business.
Right.
If you have not dealt into that business side, you would never understand anything. Because once you get to the business side of masonry, it's all about money.
It is.
It's no longer about the greed. It's about money.
You're right, but I wanna welcome Brother De-Bo Taylor on tonight. Brother De-Bo, how you doing?
Man, I'm well. Just driving home from work. I was listening to your show, and brother was talking about the cipher. It's called Pin Cipher.
Okay.
And he's absolutely right to start off with tic-tac-toe grid.
Correct.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
And then the middle grid would be an X.
Like this here?
The end grid, the end grid would also be a tic-tac-toe grid.
It's something like what I'm holding up right now, if anybody can see it.
Well, I can't see what you're doing right now. But look, what you was talking about earlier about difference in the religions, what you was discussing earlier. See, you gotta understand, even with dealing with masonry and the early history of masonry, going back to, let's just say, the 1717 Grand Lodge system around that time. The first Grand Master, the first Grand Master under that system was Anthony Sayre. Then you had the second one, and then which was John Theophilus Desigulus, Desigulus, however you pronounce the name. He was the second and the fourth Grand Master. Now, also James Anderson. Mm-hmm. All those individuals had a thing in common. And that thing that they had in common, each one of them was Presbyterian ministers.
Say that.
They were Presbyterian ministers. So, of course, they instituted a great amount of the Christian aspect or the Christian ideology into that early form that they studied or the early form that they practiced. I think, if I'm not mistaken, at that time, there was no Master Mason's degree. There was only 2 degrees, which was the Apprentice and the Fellows of the Craft.
Right.
Right.
Now, in the Fellows of the Craft degree, it was a very, very large degree. Now, we can't forget that the Royal Arch was actually a standalone degree. And what they did was they removed the Royal Arch out. They took the second degree, which was the Fellows of the Craft degree, and they broke it in half. Remember, before they broke it in half, the patriarch of the second degree was Noah and his 3 sons.
Exactly.
So when they broke it in half, they kept the lecture and they
Okay.
And this is where we get the allegory and the legend of Hiram Abiff.
Mm-hmm.
When we're dealing with the legend of Hiram Abiff, we got to understand that many of us, including a lot of us Masons, we look at Hiram Abiff as being an individual. No, Hiram Abiff was a representation of a nation of people.
I can see that. I can see that in both ways now. I can agree. I can see that as an individual, and I can see that as a nation of people, especially when you're talking about us as a black people. So I can see that from both points of view.
You know, so it's allegory, just like, you know, when you read the Bible, when you're reading into the Bible, and you're reading different things, but then you go to the book of Galatians. The book of Galatians tell you that all these things that you have read is allegory.
It does, but you know, bruh, you finna step on somebody's feet.
I'm not stepping on anybody's feet. I'm not stepping on anybody's toes. All I'm saying is when it comes to this.
Uh-huh.
When it comes to this, we say a whole lot of things, but we got to understand that Masonry is personal. This is personal.
That's
you understand what I'm saying when I say it's personal?
Oh, I understand completely.
Well, there's a question that I've seen before somewhere, I've read before somewhere about where were you first prepared to be made, whatever that it is that you made.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? I've read that question somewhere before, and somewhere along the line, I think it said something about your heart. That's speaking of your individuality. You are the only one with that heart. So these lectures and these lessons and these things that we study, they're useless if we don't make them applicable in our lives. Nobody can use my tools except for me. I can only use the tools that was given to me on me.
So do you think this is what they was doing? Do you think this is what they was teaching during a time before Masonry as we know it? As we call ancient Masonry.
Of course, because it was all about spirituality, where it was telling us that man, the lodge that we're talking about, the real lodge that we're speaking about, is your spiritual edifice. It's you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they killed many of the mystics that actually came in, especially if you're talking about 3rd and 4th century Rome during the early establishment of Christianity, right after the death of Emperor Constantine after the rise of the Nicene Council. When you start dealing with a lot of that information, it brings a lot of light to what the brother's talking about. Especially when he talk, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about Galatians chapter 4, verse 24. When the Bible talk about certain things being an allegory.
So I got a question. I have a question. A brother just posted in regards to the Essenes. He says the Essenes taught the truth. So if the Essenes taught the truth, wasn't Christ or the Messiah or Yahshua, was he a part of the Essenes? Because that's what I've read. That's the information I've come across.
Okay, let's run this down real quick. The highest religion that there's no religion higher than truth itself.
Okay.
That's the
each individual. That's the. We said what is the definition of truth?
The definition of what?
Or what is truth?
You said what?
What is truth?
Oh, what is truth?
It's truth. Truth is something that's according to factual reality. It's something that's according to factual reality, but it.
What's going on?
Hey, are you online tonight, Grant?
Oh, bro, man, I was just listening. I just left that conversation.
I know, but you called into the show, Grant.
That was a good conversation. That was a good. It was deep. I enjoyed it.
Well, you're on air now, Grant.
I understand that.
Okay, go ahead. I have my Grandmaster Calvin Sanders online tonight, gentlemen. I appreciate you calling in. Go ahead, Grandmaster.
Excuse me, Grandmaster. Good evening. You know, I just left from his house, and I'm listening to this conversation, and you brothers have good knowledge. And what it did was, I had been talking about going and studying Rosicrucian, so now I'm really getting ready to just indulge into it. I mean, I thought just dealing with the esoteric and all of that, and I've actually been invited here in San Diego to one of the temples of Rosicrucian.
Yeah, that's the temple of the ancient mystic order of the Rose and Cross, the Harvard Christopher Lewis.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Myself in particular, I don't follow that.
Yeah, I got callers online tonight. Nobody else can call in right now until somebody else hang up. I got like six of y'all online right now, so I can't be taking any more calls right now. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, who am I speaking with?
This is Brother Reggie Robinson. I'm calling from Chicago.
Okay, brother. Could you give me just a minute? Because I have other callers on the line. Give me just a minute. I'm going to clear a line for you, okay?
Okay.
All right. And turn your volume down in the background.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you. So go ahead and continue. So, hey, brothers, hello?
Hello?
Yeah. Hold on. Who am I speaking with?
This is Brother Reggie Robinson from Chicago.
Okay, Brother Rage, hold on just a second.
Here, it's now religious center. It used to be a bookstore. It's called the occult. It's called the occult bookstore, but it's never had a different name for 109 years.
Hey, gentlemen, can I have somebody clear a line? I have a gentleman from Chicago trying to call in, and I don't care who clears the line, but I just need one line open.
All right, go ahead, brother. I'll go ahead. I'll bow out.
Okay, thank you, Brother De-Bo, for calling in. I appreciate it. Hey, Brother De-Bo.
Yes, sir.
I'll be bringing my money with me when I come.
I heard that.
Okay.
I heard you.
All right.
Brothers, it was a pleasure. All right, Brother De-Bo, definitely a pleasure. And to the rest of the brothers out there that can hear me, just want you to know, I love you. There ain't nothing you can do about it. You sound like my martial art instructor. Peace, family.
Peace.
Peace. So yeah, I heard about the occult bookstore. In fact, I think
Hey, brother, still hold on for me, okay?
Sure will.
Okay. Do me a favor. I just had a line to clear up. Could you hang up and then call back, please?
Sure.
All right, thank you.
Like the person that I go to. Then we have a Hindu master yogi. Also another black brother by the name of Biobi, who's actually very famous in Chicago for his message.
All right, bro. I can't add you, but go ahead and talk real quick.
Lisa, who does her thing too.
Okay. Well, you're very knowledgeable, man, and I really appreciate that because it made me want to indulge deeper into the occult, which is definitely one of the, in my opinion, I may be wrong, one of the oldest, I guess you could call religions in the world. You know, when you start dealing with the occult science. Almost done. You know, and I've dabbled in it. You know, I'm starting to get a little bit more. I've been following this gentleman called Mitchell Gibson. And
Scared to follow any esoteric meaning. So I've delved into Buddhism, Hinduism, esoteric Christianity, the deeper.
Hey, gentlemen, could you hold on? Hey, brothers, could you hold on just a second?
All right.
Hold on just a second. I have another brother online. He's calling in from Chicago. Hey, brother, go ahead and introduce yourself. Hello?
Yeah.
Go. Okay, hold on. I have another brother online real quick. He wants to introduce himself. He's from Chicago. Hold on just a second. Hey, bro, go ahead and introduce yourself again.
Okay, Brother Reggie Robinson from Chicago. Most work for St. John's Grand Lodge.
Go ahead. What you was going to add to the conversation?
I was trying to sit here and kind of be quiet and listen patiently, but you guys are doing a good job. You brought up Rosicrucian, and all I can think about was about 20 years ago, I started studying.
Mm-hmm.
I got books here in my home about a lot of other secrets. Esoteric Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, the deeper meanings of the Bible.
So tell me this here. Do you get the opportunity to have this conversation with other brothers?
No, I don't.
Okay.
So my worshipful master, when we first started talking, before I became a brother,
Mm-hmm.
he said, I can have a conversation with you that I can't have with brothers that I've been knowing 15, 20 years.
Right.
And so I studied astrology. I've learned how to do progressions of horoscopes. I've learned so much, and it led me to Masonry.
Okay.
I was taught by a brother, used to be a teacher in Israel. He was kicked out of Israel for teaching about black people in the Bible.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so when I was when I first met him,
Mm-hmm.
he walked a certain way, he acted a certain way, and I said, I have to meet this brother.
Mm-hmm.
And he handed me a book without telling me anything about Freemasonry.
Mm-hmm.
The table of contents consisted of the seen and unseen world. For every physical, there's a unseen principle behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are dealing with a lot of knowledge that a lot of brothers need to really, really delve into, because it's more than just what you see.
Right.
I just really called this chime in because I felt like, when you're in church, you hear a message that you just gotta stand up, you gotta say something when you know of certain truths.
Right. So look, I want to say I appreciate you calling in and Senior Grandmaster shout out, and your past Grandmaster Anthony Pugh. A big shout out. Is that the Grand Lodge you're part of? What group past?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wait, tell him that you talk with Brother Tony Muhammad, Tony Hawk, because he knows me. Hey, when is that barbecue coming up in August?
It's the fourth week in
August?
the fourth week in August. Yes.
I'm gonna try to make it out there, but I'm gonna have to clear this line up and go on to the next caller. All right?
Okay.
All right. I appreciate you calling in. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Brothers together, and only love can open up those doors of knowledge to where brothers can be like, man, that is something that Masonry is all about. That's what Masonry is in its fullest.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So it doesn't matter, because the VSL is different, depending on your travels and your regions.
The VSL, whatever and I'll say again, it's whatever your truth is. If I was a lawyer and I wanted to put the book that I swore when I became a lawyer, that's my VSL.
Right, exactly.
Whatever I wanted to put up there to become this, that's my volume of sacred laws right there. That's my truth.
So I have a question. Is allegory used to cover up truth?
Say that again.
No.
Is allegory used to cover up truth? That was posted here in the chat room.
No, what's allegory? A point?
Allegory is not used to cover truth. What allegory
It's the
is
point.
like like mythology is it maintains the story in such a way that people fall in love with the allegory and the mythology so much that they try their best not to alter it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you don't alter the allegory, you try to alter truth. I don't like that truth. But when it's in the form of allegory, people accept it. That's why Jesus only spoke to people in parables. And then at the end, he said, no more will I speak to you in parables. I'm going to speak to y'all direct now. He started speaking it to them direct, and they like, hold on, he kind of scary now. I like to.
So when I start speaking to you in truth, you're gonna pull away from me.
Mm-hmm.
You will pull away. So now I got to tell you something to kind of fit your life.
Right.
To make you kind of feel good about certain things.
Yeah, comfortable.
Yeah. If we all knew what the truth was, do you think we would? I mean, just put it in layman's terms. If we actually knew what the truth was about living this life, do you think we really want to live this life?
No. Now, next subject.
I think that's debatable. I think it depends on what that truth is, and the fact that we don't know. It's more fear-based.
No, but I think that we have the power to create our realities through the things that we speak of. Talk about our language, our speech, and words. Words have a way of being created to become reality when we understand them.
Yep.
So they become truth.
But we are seeing some of these truths right now. We're seeing some of these truths. With being that young folk are killing young folk. I'm not gonna put a color to it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
People killing people with no reason.
Well, I'm gonna put it to you like this brother just said. Cocaine Blitz. His name is Cocaine Blitz. He said that truth is debatable, facts are not.
What?
Truth is debatable, facts are not.
Oh yes, truth is debatable, facts.
Truth is debatable, facts are not. Truth is debatable. It's like you said, like we said earlier. What is your truth? So your truth is debatable to my truth, because I do not live the truth that you live. I don't live the life that you live. Your life is your truth.
It's more like that is true in the realm of reality where that truth has its prevalence. Like for instance, me being a mystic, when you come into my house, I have an entire room that's dedicated to the things that I practice. And my mother being an evangelist and my father being an imam, obviously when they come over here to visit me, it's not the best interaction. So I have to keep that in mind that at some point allegory is best. So what I do when my mother comes, see my mom, that's my mama, so I'm her baby, so she gonna try. But my dad Muslim and he's stern, so he's gonna come in the house and he gonna see I got pictures of Buddha and little statues and stuff, and the first thing he gonna say, what's up? This is haram. Why would you do this? This is blasphemy. Like, I'm like, Dad, why you talking like you from Arabia? I'm just American. and understanding this, like I'm doing what I'm doing because the Creator speaks through many things in my perception, and it has exposed itself this way for me. I believe in prophetic ministry. I believe in healing of the sick, the raising of the dead, and all of that stuff. You know why? Because I done seen it in voodoo. I tell people when Jesus went to the temple against Pharaoh's magicians, Moses went to the temple against Pharaoh's magicians. Y'all remember when he turned his staff into a serpent? Pharaoh laughed at him. He laughed. He said, hey, look, guys, he's doing that trick y'all be doing. Come over here and do this thing.
Yeah, come over here and do the trick. Then come here and show him this trick, yeah.
And so what it was a display of power, of whose deity was the strongest type of
Absolutely,
thing.
absolutely.
It's an allegory, though. It's not meant to be taken as literal as some people take it. And any Jewish rabbi or Kohan that read the Torah will tell you that. Well, we know some of this stuff isn't actually historical, but it's culturally allegorical for us and our development as a people. And that's why they use mythology and Hinduism and all these other cultures.
Bro, I got a neighbor that moved he's an Orthodox Jewish man. His wife teaches classes on gematria. Okay, we were talking about Kabbalah. He's like, yeah, my wife teaches classes on gematria. I'm like, man, well, I'm going to have to go. He said, nah, you man, it's on women only. I'm like, yeah, you know
why, right? You know why, man, women only, right?
Oh, well, you know how they are, but go ahead.
Yep, well, the gematria within itself is based on what? The consonant and the two letters that they use.
The mother numbers, yeah. The mother letters, excuse me. The mother letters, yeah. Exactly,
the mother letters. So when you get certain sciences of the Kabbalah, like for instance, when you look at Kether, and then you look at Yesod, which is your reproductive organs, then you look at Malkuth, which is the earth. You got all of these different representations that represent different points of the body, but it's all a tree. You know, it's all from the Kabbalah, which is not exclusive, nor is it unique to Judaism. Their interpretation of it through the Tanakh is what we study. There are other interpretations of the Kabbalah from the Tibetans, the Hindus, and the Egyptians that are thousands of years older than the Tanakh, which was only developed in the 6th century.
So, brother, let me ask you.
People have to keep in consideration about religions, that a lot of their doctrines are new.
Brother, let me ask you this then. So, would you say that the Jews acquired this knowledge of Kabbalah and put their stamp on it when they were in Egypt at the time? So that's where they got their knowledge from, you know what I mean?
Well, they actually got their knowledge from the Persians. Okay, because if you're talking about real life historical events, the Jews were never in Egypt.
Teach on that, brother. But hey, look.
No archaeological evidence that
Brother Mussa.
No, I agree with that part.
Brother Mussa.
Yes, sir.
On this Thursday, we're going to go into that subject. Remember that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because
I'll remind myself.
Let me tell you why. Because in the early 80s, when the president of Jerusalem did an interview, he stated that the Jews were never in captivity, period.
That's true.
He stated that. So I don't know where they get that the Jews was in captivity for 400 years. That's nowhere written in the Bible.
Well, they get that. What they want to do is remind Black Americans and other people of color that you were not the only one who was enslaved. So why you worried about it? And look at the other race that was enslaved and look where they're at now. So it's more like a trickery on us, because they can just come and say, well, the Jews were enslaved too.
Well,
you know.
Let me add this. So there's two things. First of all, would you all agree that, well, no, we won't add that, but would you disagree or agree that the Jewish people are not the chosen?
Hey.
No.
Wait. Time out.
Yeah.
I know the subject is about to change. I need this for Thursday. I don't need this for tonight, gentlemen.
All right. Now, but that's a simple question, and I say no to that.
I'll say no to that. They are not the chosen.
We don't have to hold up on that.
They are the chosen.
So, would you agree that alchemy and allegory is within the same alchemy?
Uh-huh.
And whatever you want to say, allegory, whatever it is in the same realm?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
For sure. So,
yeah. Because, matter of fact, if you look at that fellowcraft degree, the sulfur, mercury correspond of alchemy corresponds to the water, to the corn oil and wine, and the fellow that degree.
Is that Brother Axe speaking?
Yes, it is.
Bro, I thought you had hung up.
Nah, man, I'm here. I told you, I'm here.
Okay, I appreciate it. So look, guys, we got a couple more minutes left. I need each one of you to give me something tonight before we log off. Who wants to go first?
I just think,
hey, that's a hard subject.
I just want to thank y'all for allowing me to give my opinion and some of my scholarly perspective on some of the information when it's pertaining to Rosicrucianism and esoteric doctrines. And it's always love to the Elder Tony. And it was a pleasure speaking to brothers of like mind with high intelligence. It's hard to find these conversations, so y'all be saving my life, man. Y'all really do. Y'all really know. For real.
All right, anybody else?
Well, if I can ever, get into a conversation where I can enlighten myself, enlighten my fellow brothers. I love these conversations. I love it. Sometimes things need to be pulled out of me. They need to be pulled out.
Right.
Then I can conversate on it. But
Okay.
I love it, and I love all my brothers. So keep listening, keep an open mind.
I appreciate that.
And Brother Muhammad come and say, hey, they got them bushes. Don't believe everything you
All right, who's up next?
Well, I would definitely like to say the conversation was definitely enlightening. The brothers have knowledge that truly needs to be shared as well as heard. And I believe that this platform that Brother Hawkins has set up is truly in its infant stage. I truly believe that this platform is definitely going to take off, and it's gonna open up doors dealing with Masonry all over the world. And I truly believe as long as the conversation stays like it is reasonable and where there's no backbiting or anything like that, and it's just all knowledge based, and everyone is learning, and everyone is like, yeah, man, I haven't read that book yet, but I'm gonna go pick it up. As long as it stays on like that, man, I believe that Masonry, what Brother Hawkins is doing, is truly gonna change lives. I really believe that.
All right.
Oh, it already is. And I would like to chime in and just say, Brother Tony, how can I say? I love this show. I love the fact that you are out here and bringing us together and just been doing it on a consistent basis. Like, I look forward to these shows and these talks every other night. And there's times I catch myself saying, damn it, ain't coming. I gotta wait till tomorrow. And I'm like, am I the only one who's like that? But the point is, man, I'm just grateful to be a part of the conversation tonight. And and you brothers on the line, thank you for being a part of it as well. And much light to each one of you, and have a good night. And to everyone tuning in, good. And to my man, I know you're gonna have to rewatch this because you say you was too high. So just play it over, man.
Yeah. Tell that brother play this shit over for real.
All right, just rewatch the whole video. It's over, man. All right.
that's the best kind to solve all the problems in the universe.
All right, everybody spoke. All right, well, hey, it is my will and pleasure that we move this show forward. I know at times we can be kind of controversial at times, and you know what? So is life. But through it all, I would hope that this platform with enlightened brothers and sisters where they can be able to come to the show, call in if they have questions. That there are brothers and sisters out there that has the intelligence enough to be able to speak and be able to bring forth a good answer. This show has no boundaries. It's not about Ancient Free and Accepted, Prince Hall. It's not about any of those. It's about Masonry and what Masonry is really all about. So I just personally want to say thanks to my Grand Master for allowing me to be able to bring the show on through the Research Lodge number 147 and to be able to just share what Masonry is from this jurisdiction and to other places. So
we appreciate it, brother.
On that note, I think I said Thursday, right? Thursday, we're gonna talk about something that's gonna be totally off. Well, y'all was about to go with that. So if y'all are available on Thursday, we can have that conversation. I don't know what the title of the show gonna be.
Hey, bro. See, a part of me is like, Thursday? Damn, I gotta wait till Thursday.
First of all, we need to discuss the dimensions of the lodge. And then you go into the other thing.
Okay, I tell you what, Thursday show. So get yourself together. So what's the day? Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it Thursday. Thursday show is gonna be about the dimensions of a lodge, and then we're gonna bring that into play, okay?
There it is, right there.
All
right. So I got to Thursday. I got to do a little work during the week. So Thursday is the best I had to offer right now. All right, everybody. I appreciate you coming on. And whatever you do, as always, keep your light on. Stay out the bushes. And to all the brothers of the craft, to all the sisters of the order, wind the labyrinth of life and definitely stay on your point and don't be knocked off your square and stay level. I'm out, brothers. Thank you.
All right. Peace.
Peace.